Yay. Aloha and welcome to Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson, coming to you from Hawaiian Paradise Park on the beautiful big island of Hawaii. Hooray. Make sure I'm paused over here on Facebook. Yes, good deal. I'm not talking over myself. Yes. Yay, everyone. Yay. So here's an interesting one. Reincarnation. I've had people ask me over the years, do you believe in reincarnation? And the thing about reincarnation, never been any incarnation, much less the whole shitload of them, like this incarnation isn't true. So whether or not you believe in incarnation isn't so relevant. It depends on what you're using it for. Are you using it to avoid what's really true? Because it doesn't matter either way, because the whole thing isn't really true. So if that helps you to feel more at peace, then that's awesome. And the same thing, like if anyone is saying, I don't believe in it in reincarnation, or I do believe in reincarnation. And then if that's triggering you, then that's showing you that the belief that you're holding about reincarnation is hurting you. That's all. So you could really use the others as gauge. Well, really, you're using your own feeling as gauge, right? But like the others are showing you something and you seem to get triggered by what the others are showing you, whether it's a thought that doesn't agree with your own thinking, whether it's something that seems like it, them holding that position could be threatening, anything like that. So using the other to show you, and they love it when you use them like that, by the way, they love it. They do. I got to say, I use everyone like that. I use everyone to show me my reflection. And in revealing my reflection, I can see wherever compassion needs to go within myself. And in that, it extends outward. It just naturally extends outward because, there is really no outward. It's just one mind. So it's just naturally extending, let's say. Let's just drop the whole outward thing. It's just that we think in those terms. We think in terms of the people that seem to be outside of ourselves, as in being out there, because that's what we sense. We sense that they're out there. They can come up and touch us. They might touch us nicely. They might touch us rudely, whatever. And we get the sense that we've been touched by them. But really, it's our own mind projecting an image of them. And, even in the illusion, this is a funny part of it. Even in the illusion, nothing ever touches anything else. There's always a small amount of space between everything. It's kind of like a pointer, it's like we don't really. It's like there's a mental coming towards something and a mental reactivity to it, but there's no actual touching. There's no actual cause and effect. No one's touching each other in a good or bad way, in a nice or a mean way. It's like with sex, you might think that, okay, if you're having a really good sexual experience, then you have a good partner. Okay, this is a good partner. They're giving you a good sexual experience. It's never like that. Like either you're good at it, and what is good at it really, again, but relaxation. Like either you're good at it and you're not, or you're not. It's not, and that all comes down to basically feeling again. So what I'm talking about with getting all of those sensations and feeling, it makes you so much more sensitive to the feelings that are coming up, and you can sense that thread of bliss that leads toward the really good blissful feeling, because that honestly, the creator wants you to feel as good as you possibly can within this illusion that you're not whole. When you're whole, there's not, when you know, and when you know that you're whole, let's say that, because no one's unwhole really. When you know that you are whole, then there's not this fluctuation of feeling. You just always are just in pure love, bliss, unchanging. And, you know, to the ego, that's like, I don't want that. I want the changeful, because I need to be able to compare like what's a good feeling against what's a bad feeling. And that's just something in the illusion. The good and bad feelings. That's just something that comes up in the illusion. In reality, you don't have that. You don't have feeling. This is something that's energetic, and energy is also an illusion. It's the first illusion. It's the first manifestation of thought. That's the energy. So in reality, aloha, yay! Thank you for joining. In reality, there is no need to get a better feeling, because it's just like you're always feeling amazing. You're always feeling like, I can't even express it in words here what it is like in reality to just be as you are. And it's an experience, you know, it's an experience of who you are. And it's not like the way we sense things in the illusion. We sense things through the body sense in the illusion. So we have these senses that make out what the world is to us. You know, some stuff is hard, some stuff is soft, some stuff is scary, some stuff is really sweet. So we're making those interpretations, and we always have to have opposites, because that's what it's made of. It's just made up of these opposites. So it's like, if you're relying on, in your mind, you're relying on something in the material world to make you feel good, you're automatically manifesting its opposite too. See, and this is wholly a mental thing. It's like the idea that something can have an effect on you. You know, having the idea that something in the world can have an effect on you is automatically projecting. So you know, it might look and feel and really seem like something has an effect on you. Like, for instance, you take a painkiller or something, and then all of a sudden your hemorrhoid pain feels so much better. You know, all of a sudden you can sit down again. So you're like, well, that hemorrhoid medicine, that stuff is really good. You know, and you know, and it's not in the words, at all. It's in the feeling. It's in that, you know, it's just about applying reason to the idea that the cream made the effect, made the pain go away. That's never how it is. Your mind uses those things like the cream, kind of like a magic wand. And, you know, you've allowed for in your mind a manifestation that looks like healing to you. There's no such thing as healing in that way, actually. Physical, there's no physical healing, because there's no unhealed body, because there's no body, actually. There's actually no body. So what's relying on this physical manifestation of a healing, and using something as some kind of device and trying to put faith in that device, that's the ego's voice right there. So all it is just acknowledging that the mind made it. The mind made all the things. And, you know, it's just like over and over again, applying that to your perceptions, because the perception gets confused, and then that leads to suffering. So, you know, not that suffering is necessarily a bad thing. I mean, every time someone goes into suffering, they're learning a lesson. They're definitely learning a lesson. And, you know, it's like the creator wants you to be in your divine essence, so you can feel what that's like too, within the illusion. And, you know, no matter how good it feels and how sweet this dream becomes because of the allowing of the good feeling, that's still nothing compared to what it's like when you finally see clearly. When you see clearly, it's like all of that stuff that was all those blissful feelings, even orgasmic feelings, anything like that, they're nothing compared to what the reality is. Still, in the illusion, it's the creator's will for you to experience joy, to experience, in terms of sensing these blissful feelings. And, to basically avoid putting it in an opposite perspective where you get a really good feeling and then you get a really shitty feeling. It's just about applying reason to the situation. It's like, oh, it looks like to me, and you don't have to say this to anyone, just know in your heart, or at least look in that direction. You don't even have to know. You can even ask the question, did that thing really make my hemorrhoids better? Or did my mind just make that illusion? You can even just be in the question of it. You don't have to, you may not even believe that, but just looking in that direction sets you on the course so that the spirit can show you more and more how to see correctly, how to see through the illusions and the things that seem important. See, here's what happens when we make things important. When we make something important, it seems like then we need it. And you know the story. This is one of my favorite stories in the world. I just think I guess because it's like, it's kind of like, it's so insane that it's just like, so right in your face insane. It's like fun to look at. It's because it's comical. The idea that you won't be able to get the medication that you need. That's been a whole thing. I've seen it expand into a whole thing where it gets into all kinds of legal policy and all this different stuff. You gotta, and setting, and, the ego sets this fear in motion. So it might like go on the news. I don't know. I don't watch the news. I haven't in so long. It just seems like they're talking to people like that are kids or something. Your kids in school and you're learning how to be afraid. We're going to show you how to be afraid here. We're going to tell you a bunch of shit that's totally not true about yourself, and then you'll be afraid. So basically, the news will ramp it up, scaring people about, oh no, if this doesn't happen, if this particular policy doesn't pass, you might not be able to get your medication. The price of your medication is going to keep going up, 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 up. And it seems to people that their only option, the only option that's available to them to feel better is to get that particular drug. I have to have that drug or else I'm going to feel, or else I'm not going to feel better. So this is the kind of stuff that leads to death, constantly agreeing with these kinds of concepts that say, if I don't have this thing, I'm going to suffer. I was just talking with a friend who used to get a bunch of fillers in her face. And she was so glad because she came to the realization that she didn't need that stuff. She was going through some years where it was like, okay, the money's there. We'll just keep on getting these injections. And then the money goes away and it's like, okay, no more injections. And it's like, what's going to become of me? Oh my God, all these years, people have seen me with this all uplifted, and now it's just going to go like that, right? And there's no other options. So my friend, and I mean, big kudos to her. She's been super aware and alert and everything through the particulars of her life. And she goes, wait a minute, this is fear. This is just fear. And just relaxed into it. And then it opened her up to see a different possibility for taking care of that area that doesn't require any money. It doesn't require any injection even. And it's just that we set ourselves, and the way we set it up, like even the news, that's a puppet of the mind. It's not like they're doing anything to us. It's what we want. I want that message coming out about fear and how we're dependent on things in the world. Oh, thank you. Thank you for joining from Philippines. What fun. I appreciate you. Leia, you are not sick, okay? That's silly. Come on, you know better than that. I'm really glad you joined. Thank you. She laughs. not feeling well. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, it's like, it's hard to talk about it. It's hard to talk about it truthfully. Like, you know, when you get the sense that, well, shit, I don't even feel like I can stand up right now. I just need to lay down and like let this thing do what it's doing and let it pass, you know. And at the same time, you're making it up, right? So at the same time, you're making it up. Fine. You know, I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't worry about the words. I mean, it's even fun when you say I'm sick, you know, because it's just like, oh yeah, good one. You know, it's been 4 or 5 days. Nice. Okay. Yeah, it's like it's like every time you say I'm sick, you can just have a little laugh to yourself, because it's basically whenever we set that up where we take sickness to be real as if we can actually get, yeah, I bet it feels scary. Uh-huh, good one. So if you know, I am sick, the idea I am sick is basically I'm a body and I'm gonna die. It's a warm up for dying. It's basically a warm up for death. You know, it takes a little bit more words to say it a little bit more truthfully, and you don't have to use those at all, because like what I'm saying is it's not in the words. It's totally mental. It's just totally mental. So we play with words. We don't even know what the fuck people mean. We're interpreting them, you know? So that's another big reason why, you know, there's no cause for anger depending on what someone else is saying. Like if they're saying something that doesn't agree with your thinking or something, there's really no cause for anger in that. And anger is really sickness. You know, that's a setup for sickness. It really is. There's nothing outside of you that can make you sick. And, you know, of course, there's no COVID either. You know, we make that thing up too. The virus is fear, and it comes in all these different forms because that's a nature of fear, to show it itself in a lot of different forms. Okay. You know, scientifically speaking and all that bullshit, I'm not saying whether the virus, COVID-19 is real. Okay. Because it's not relevant. It's just not relevant on that level. What I'm saying is no virus or anything, it can get you. Nothing can make you feel sick, let's say. No thing can make you feel sick, let's say that. Your mind generates sickness out of fear. And it not only, and you feel punished. Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So whenever you're going through a sense that you're sick, so you're getting a sense that you're sick, right? Those kinds of thoughts are going to arise. You know, it's as if you're dirty, if you think you're sick. If you think, and that's the only way you're going to have a perception of sick, is that you're thinking that you're sick. So, you know, from my point of view, it's up to me to help you by acknowledging what's really true. I don't have to say it to you or anything, but to know in my heart that you are not sick, and you're only having an imagining. There's only an imagining that you're sick. So the healing for me, like just having a perception of someone that's sick, and when you're telling me I'm sick, I'm having a perception of someone that's sick. I'm having a misperception. So right now, when you tell me, Hope, I'm sick, I'm having a misperception. Okay. And so in that, it's up to me to know for you that you're not sick, you know, that it's not possible. And there's no there's no kind of level of difficulty in a healing either. So as soon as the mind is healed, there's no more sickness. You're not able to perceive sickness. So, you know, I don't see it as Leia's problem that she thinks she's sick, right? That's, and for me, it's not even my problem. It's my opportunity, right? So it's like, thank you, Leia, for the opportunity. I appreciate that, and thanks for sharing it too. Thanks for sharing that. Aloha Asana, I love you. Oh yes. Elkini, oh nice. Navigating the apparent suffering of this life. A warm up for death. Yeah, just like, you know, A Course in Miracles says so often, that every path in the world just leads to death. So it has no meaning, and it has no meaning in it except what kind of meaning you attach to it. So with getting the perception of sickness, can we have a hooray for that? That's the thing. Can we have a hooray? We're getting the perception of sickness. Hooray. You know, that's a major, it takes a lot of energy and you know, a lot of agreement between us too, like a really, you could say, a consistent and solid agreement between us to manifest delusions of sickness. It's pretty freaking amazing how powerful our mind is to manifest these illusions. And these illusions are exactly what we want. These illusions are exactly what we want because they help us to see through the idea that we're separate. It's all for healing the sense of separation. So it's not to like treat yourself badly within it. Remember, you have no choice in what you do. So if you're perceiving yourself going toward remedies in the world, fine. There's no judgment about that. Make no attempt to analyze yourself. It makes no difference which of these remedies you choose. It could be a pharmaceutical, it could be anything. Okay, it could be a cup of tea, could be a Cape chamomile essential oil. Doesn't matter, because the effect doesn't come from the thing. You know, it doesn't come from that. Glenn, you're stoned. This is so fun. Thank you for being stoned. I'll get to that in a moment. I know we had a fun conversation about that on YouTube. That was really, we had it in the comments on a YouTube video. So yeah, I'll get to that too. I'd like to finish up on the sickness thing a little bit, because you know, that's a thing for peeps. Other thing is major fearful thoughts coming up around being sick. Like, holy shit, I'm hearing stories about people dying and stuff like that. Here's what I recommend, just in your mind, not in the physical, let it take care of itself. Just in your mind, when you're like feeling that kind of pressure, that kind of mental pressure, like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared, I see people dying from this thing. Definitely don't want to go to the hospital and, you know, just like, whoa, let yourself get the experience of death, like as much as you can. Like, kind of like just lay there and let yourself die. You will be amazed at how awesome that is. You'll find out that you can't die, for one. You know, if you're willing to actually let yourself die. But, you know, just kind of like as a meditation, as an experience, it's like, okay, what is this that's so afraid of dying? And you know what, here's another thing, you know, real like human empathy for that, which you have and which you can offer, right? So that it's like there's this child that's afraid of dying, and it's like, oh yeah, you know, and you see how that confused aspect of you can be taking that sense as really real. Yeah, I would be afraid of dying too if I thought I was gonna die. You know, if death was really real, I would be afraid of it too. And just kind of like embracing that aspect of you that thinks in separation, that thinks that death is real, that's afraid of death. It's kind of like allowing a compassionate balm to come through, because you know, as you know, someone who's experienced as a human, right, and having a human experience, that's hard to have the perception that you're going to die. You know, that's hard. So for that aspect of yourself that has that perception, it's just kind of like offering some empathy. Like that's kind of like the human version of compassion. And through that, like Holy Spirit's empathy comes and, you know, really serves you, really soothes. It's like a soothing kind of almost like it's a dryness and you got a nice balm, you know, it's like, thank you. so using your perception of sickness, and and watch too when you're telling other people too, I'm sick, and watch the reaction to that, watch that energy play, how we are with this sickness thing. No one is sick except by election. You cannot get sick without electing to have that perception. Yay, I'm so glad you're seeing that. And that's that's a one that calls up for a lot of defensiveness coming from the ego. Most people do not want to hear that. And I'll tell you what, when I first saw that, I was like, no way. I don't accept that. I totally don't accept that. And then, I kept on coming back to it slowly, that it is all coming from my mind. And that is an election. No one would make themselves sick unless they thought they were going to get something more valuable than health out of it. Sickness has a value in a confused mind. So then sickness is going to be manifest. And, again, I'm not pointing at Leia. I'm perceiving her sickness because she told me she's sick. So it's like, it gets the, it's like when you admit what's really going on here, it gets to the root of it. Now, you never know. And my whole house got it. Shanti too. Wonderful. Yeah. And that's, and that kind of thing where it seems to erupt in a lot of different bodies at once. Of course, that supports that contagion thing. Do not support that with your mind. That is death. Contagion is death. Okay. Contagion is basically death. Do not support that. Unless death is what you want, then hey, support it all day long. But that's what's being put out, and that's what's getting, people have been taught, we've all been taught. I was taught when I was younger that contagion was really a thing. And I believed it until I was probably like, before I even got into like anything spiritual or went like that, when, at least in my adulthood, I was studying nutrition, and it was just like, when I saw basically what I saw, I was like, oh yeah, why are we getting a message that contagion is real? Why are we getting that message at all? And that was before I knew that the whole illusion isn't real, right? So it's like an illusion within an illusion. Okay, so within this illusion, we have this illusion of contagion, which most of the world agrees with. And most of the world supports, and I would say worship. It seems like actually worshiping to me. Most of the world worships that concept that you can get something from someone else. And I used to play around with it when I was younger, and I would go, okay, contagion isn't real at all, and I would not be afraid of any people who seem to be sick to me, or they're telling me they're sick or I'm contagious. I'm like, bring it in. You're contagious? Good. Bring it in. Bring it over here. Here, cough in my mouth. I know it's kind of nasty, but everyone needs this lesson. My daughter got ringworm one time, or I thought she had ringworm. And it seemed like no one wanted to be around her, the whole family, everyone. And she was feeling really shameful, feeling really dirty. And, I said, I'll lick that ringworm. And she's like, you will? And I said, yeah, I will. You want me to lick it right now? And she's like, yes. And I licked the ringworm, and it's like all this shame drops. It is such a shameful concept, that contagion thing, you guys. So don't worry about what the rest of the world is doing, because it doesn't matter. The rest of the world is actually coming out of your perception. It's actually for you. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What do we have here? Okay, we've got asana. Are you aware of yourself when you drop the body? What remains? Yeah. I mean, there is no body. So you say that the body is used for unawareness of yourself. It's a huge distraction. It's the biggest distraction, I would say, besides the thought of confusion. It's just like, it's a manifestation of that thought of confusion. So we think of ourselves as a body, and we think our body can tell us what we feel. So we get the sense of sickness, right? Like I feel sick, I feel shitty, right? And we get the sense that that's coming from the body. No, the body has no authority to tell you how you feel. The body does not have that kind of authority. That perception is coming from your mind. It's not coming from your body. Your body doesn't feel anything. It doesn't think anything. It doesn't feel anything. There's no instinct. Instinct is also a fake thing. It's all coming from the mind. There's been an agreement to attribute the mind's power to the body. That's what upholds the sense of separation. So that now the body can tell you how it feels. Apparently. Body. And this is a practice for people too. And it's cool. It's cool. It definitely drops you in from different, mental things. And it must be that you're willing to drop the body as having mental qualities, before healing is complete. So let's say, so if it feels like too much to be willing to release it right now, that's okay. Just use it as food for thought. That's me until I appear to get sick. Tell me what it is, Elkini, because I missed what you were referring to there. I really felt my friend with me on my birthday. She passed of cancer years previously. I really felt her presence and knew she was there with me and surrounding me with her spirit. I believe those who pass are all around us all the time, as long as we are open to seeing them. Yes, that's right. They are around us. There's really no around because it's the mind, right? So, but the way we can understand it from this sense of separation, it's as if there's these beautiful angelic beings just floating all around us. Pets, birds, aunts, grandpas. It's like there's these beautiful, it's as if it's like that, like just, to give you a sense of what it's like, it just surrounding us, rooting for us, giving us gratitude. And it's up to us to receive that goodness that they have for us. So really, if you're willing to experience the presence of anyone or any pet or any plant or anything, a table that passed away in this world, all you have to do is be willing, and you'll know that they're there with you always. Nothing ever goes away. The energetics that you see of something being born, let's take birth, for instance, of something being born, it's never born. A table is never really made, as far as construction. It's just made in the mind. These things, these forms are made up in the mind, and they seem to go on this trajectory where they're born, and then they like lose vitality somewhere along the line and die. And that goes for everything, even objects, even Earth. That's the way we perceive it, right? It doesn't have to be like that. We don't have to keep on supporting that thought process just because we see it occur. We think we see it occurring before our eyes. We don't have to keep supporting it because that's what seems to be the truth. Okay. Guilty thoughts does some funny shit in dreams. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Good point. All right. I have this paralyzing fear when we were on the road traveling on a car or scooter through winding roads and trucks, bikes, motorbikes, people, chicken, goats, dogs, etc. The erratic movement. I get panic attacks to the point I scream, cry, sob, and just totally lose it. Wow. Awesome, Maria. That's awesome. So you just, let yourself have that experience. It's like you'll see eventually that it ends in laughter. Like just that sense of that great fear, it ends in laughter. So it's like letting yourself get the experience. Number one, drop judgment and analyzing thoughts, okay? Thoughts that want to analyze yourself. Laugh about it. Have fun with it. I love it. Like sometimes I'll get startled from time to time. I'll just get startled, and I'll act like such a girl Just like, ah, and then I'll laugh. It's just like, oh, it's like, oh my goodness, I just had that experience. Like I was really startled. Like I was really like it's an experience. Okay. And fear is an experience. Yes, it comes from thinking against yourself. That doesn't mean you have to judge the experience as something you shouldn't be having. It's like, great. It's like, get that just to get that experience. And then, you know, as soon as you feel a little bit more interested in having that experience again, you might be like, let's get on that motorbike and speed around and cruise and let's see what happens. And maybe you have to stop the bike. I gotta get out and I gotta like have a fit on the floor. You know, whatever it is, it's just for fun. You know, it's just play. So it's not something to make into a problem. And that's exactly what the ego wants you to do with it, is make something like that into a problem. Like you must be some kind of deficient in some way if you're experiencing paralyzing fear, doing what a lot of people probably do every day over there in the Philippines, just cruising around, getting all squirrely, going between everything. And, you know, it's like, you know, if you're not used to something like that and you get that sense that, oh, this is so scary, I feel like we're going to die or kill something. Yeah, it's like, that's a rush. That's part of the ride. That's the experience. You know, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to be on that bike. It's like these things are choiceless. They just automatically come. They just automatically come through you. So, you know, when I say you don't have to do it, and still you don't have a choice in it, you find yourself on a bike. You see what I mean by that? It's that you don't have to do it. It means all pressure's off of you to make any choice that you weren't capable of making anyways. Right? So when you don't have any pressure on you, it makes you more free to just experience the experience and express naturally. Oh, there's some paralyzing fear. Hold on. I'm experiencing paralyzing fear right now. What does that look like? You know, let it play out. That's how it burns out. It's allowed to play out without resistance. So what I started with here was reincarnation. So all of this, what we've been talking about since I started talking about reincarnation, this is the thing that requires lifetimes. It requires lifetime. Remember, these are false lifetimes. So there's no incarnation. Let's look at it. There's no incarnation, because to me that means, and I may be incorrect about this because I didn't even go look it up, but just what I'm saying it right now, to me that means that something was actually made, that's actually like tangible something, like you incarnated. You became this. No, it's dream. Is a dream an incarnation? If it is, yeah, then what's it? It's an incarnation. Is it when you go to bed at night and you dream and you seem to be a person in your dream? Do you say that's one of your incarnations? Maybe you do. It's just like that. But we try to put some kind of meaning to it, like, oh yeah, in my last lifetime I was this. Like if you have some pride in how you were, like Akashic people can read like through lifetimes. And yes, there's lifetimes. It's still in the perception though, all perceptional, all perception. Like there's not really lifetimes, it's imagined. So it's an imagined thing. That's why it's not an incarnation, in my view. I mean, I don't care if you use that word and go, yeah, you know, actually, I believe in incarnation. Doesn't matter. The point is that you're not using that concept to hurt yourself. So you're not using as like pride. There's two ways. And, you know, the first way, the pride in the previous lifetimes doesn't seem nearly as, I guess you could say, illusion prolonging as the second one, which says, why do anything? I got unlimited lifetimes. That'll prolong it in your imagination. So that's going to make, it's making illusions of lifetimes, basically making illusions of lifetimes. But since there's no time actually passes. But for a perceiver, that can be a very long time. It feels like forever before awakening actually occurs. So if you're using that concept, incarnation, positively or negatively, as if, okay, it's real or it's not real, either way, just being mindful about it, that you're not using it to avoid something. The most common one I see for avoiding in my own mind, in my own perception, is it'll be okay. I got another lifetime. I don't really need to look at that right now. I've got unlimited lifetimes to do this. How many times do I want to die? And how many times do I want to kill my friends? That's the question. In my dream. That's why I laugh about it, because it's funny. You might go, you're laughing about dying and killing your friends. Yeah, in a dream. In a dream. So it's like, how many more times do I want to dream about that? I get a do-over, another guilt thought. Hooray. Yes, exactly. Okay, so we had a fun conversation on YouTube. One of my friends who says he's a mystic, and he also really appreciates me giving him support through this time. He's like really happy I'm giving him some support with the wisdom dialogues and stuff like that. And then he says, please tell me that you are not smoking pot. Please tell me that you have a clear mind. Like, I need to know that you have a clear mind. And I just kind of like smiled. It's so fun. I know it's my mind, I know it's my mind talking to me. That's why it's so good. So I'm like, wow, this guy thinks he needs to know that I don't smoke pot to be able to feel supported by what I'm sharing, or to be able to feel support. It's really sweet. So I thanked him. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for getting the support you need. I do enjoy, quote, pot. There's different words we use too to make things seem a certain way. Like pot. Oh, who's smoking pot? Like, yes, I do. I really, yeah, actually, in case those of you who don't know, maybe I don't know, maybe I haven't talked about it in a while. First time I ever tried the sweet ganja, the sweet ganja plant, I was 12 years old. And when I had my first experience with a bong, I was like, yes, this is in my life. This is in my life. I didn't feel an attachment to it. I didn't feel like I gotta get more or anything like that. I was just like, shit, this is in the world, huh? And I'm 12 years old. I'm like, wow, as a different perspective. It's like, shit, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. I forgot about that. Oh man, I feel so free. And it's not the same for everyone. I'm not glorifying ganja or pot, as you want to call it. Weed. What else do we call it? Flower, herb, bud. We got lots of names for it. Plenty of people consider it a sacred herb. That kind of helps you see through the veil. Nothing in the world has any power to do anything for you, obviously. And there's certain things that are kind of like, they kind of stand out, like they shine. Oh, I could use that thing. It doesn't mean I have to have it. It doesn't mean like if I don't have it, I'm like, oh my God, where's my weed? And even from the time the relationship was always so sweet too, even from the time I was 12 years old, I was not stressed about it. I was just kind of like, I'm going to have some of that. Like, there's not really a question about it. I'm just going to have some of that, And throughout my whole life, it's just kind of like, it's always shown up. It's always just kind of like shown up in the field. It just shows up in the field. I don't go, oh my gosh, how am I going to find weed or anything? Even like all those years it was illegal. It's still against the law here in Hawaii, I guess. It's lowest law enforcement priority around here, but they still have like a law against it. You can get it medically and stuff like that. So the thing is, there's certain ideas that we set up, and we set them up as stumbling blocks for ourselves. It's never a thing in the world. Let me just tell you that. It's never something in the world. It's always conceptual, something that we set up as a stumbling block for ourselves. It's like, if this, then this. If they do this, then this. If they do this, they can't be this. I've had people tell me, and they find out I smoke weed. I like to call it weed. So they find out I smoke weed. They go, oh, now I know your secret. And I'll ask them, I'll go, is that because a lot of people who smoke weed that feel at peace or are really clear about about what this is? And they'll let go, actually, no, that's not the case. Actually, that's not the case. Actually, you're the only one I know like that, actually. So, yeah, it's not like I'm saying, hey, you guys, go get yourself some ganja and go do your thing. It's different, you could say, devices that your mind uses for help, helping, whatever. And when you have an intent to open up and be free, you can bet that the Holy Spirit is using that device to help open you up. So it doesn't matter what it is. I mean, I talked to people before, like, I don't care if you're shooting up heroin. Okay. If you're shooting up heroin and your intent with that shooting up heroin is it is for freedom, is for awakening, is for truth, no matter how dim that is, it's being given you, it's being shown to you. And you don't have a choice in whatever devices you seem to be using in the world. That's another aspect of it. I mean, for me, all that happened is, ganja popped up. Hey, do you want to try this? Yes, let's try this. And it's all happening in a dream. I don't have a choice in that either. And then it's like, oh, that's nice. And then that particular thing kind of shines to me. It's like, oh, how nice. Can use it for that. And it was like, when I noticed that sense of freedom, I was just like, oh, and in using it, not to escape whatever it is, doesn't matter what it is, could be food, be water, it could be a run, any of your mundane actions, any of your like exercise, anything like that. If your intent is to use it for expanding peace in yourself, expanding joy in yourself, that's then it becomes something that is valuable because of that, not in itself. Not in itself. That means it can go away too, and you're just fine. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't think, oh my gosh, what will become of me if I don't have any ganja? I welcome that. That'd be awesome. Oh, there's no more ganja in the world. Fine. Or what? There's like or I seem to be having some kind of reaction to ganja. I can't even have it anymore. Who cares? There's always there's always going to be something that's going to seem like it stimulates joy or expansiveness or anything within you, because that also can shift around, and it does shift around. It does shift around. I mean, there's been periods in my life where there's been no ganja. All three of my kids, for instance, when I was pregnant and breastfeeding, no problem. It's like it's only that attraction. Like, I have to have that. I hear people saying, "Oh yeah, as long as I have my ganja, I'm okay." And it's like, well, that's concept. Or I heard one friend say, as long as I have my yerba mate, then I can be peaceful. as long as I got my thing. And anything that you think like that about, obviously, because everything is going to be removed from you at one point in time. It's not going to be there forever. So it's like, get over it now. Get over it right now that it's gone. It basically, it doesn't even exist. It's not doing anything. It's not giving you any kind of comfort. Your mind is giving yourself that, whatever comfort you're getting from that, whatever expansiveness, whatever joy, it's the mind. And, for me, it's like, whatever I'm doing, it doesn't matter. It's like, it's not like the ganja is kind of like singled out as this thing that I'm in ceremony with. whatever it is, there's a ceremony way of looking at it. You're just using it all for that. So it's not like this is like singled out as something that I'm like, okay, I'm using this right now to see through, not to hide from. I'm using anything. I'm using washing my hands, I'm using cooking, I'm using brushing my hair, whatever it is that I get the perception of, that's the thing. And it's like that willingness, it's like it's kind of like an offering to the Holy Spirit. It's like kind of like an offering. Hey, this is what I want. I would have it for awakening and not try to have it for something else. I don't want to have it for something else. Okay. So thank you. Squirrely is one of my very favorite words. Squirrely. Did I say that word? I may have. I don't know, but I don't know. Maybe we're just talking about favorite words. You are a fantastic teacher with a beautiful mind. Thank you for taking your time to share your insights. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you, Jill. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to share with you. One thing that I was talking about with my friend this past weekend is that, I might get the perception in the physical that people are coming to me for a teaching, right? But the thing is, all of you, and whether you know it or not, you're all conspiring to awaken my mind. so, so like you're really giving me an opportunity, and helping me in seeing more, in feeling more, and seeing more. You're giving that to me too, and the thing is, we help each other. So the teaching and learning, it's always going. It's like a back and forth kind of thing. Yes, there are those of us who have advanced and advanced in this, who have become advanced in this. That doesn't mean that we're at a particular level where everyone has to be at that kind of consciousness level that we meet and that we heal with and who teach us. So no matter what level of learning you have acquired, and in that there's levels, just in a dream still, because it's a dream state. So, and just in talking about it and articulating, you could say there's levels in that. But that doesn't prevent me from, let's say, healing with and being healed, and receiving a gift of healing from another who hasn't even started in phase 2 yet. So like everyone is my teacher. It doesn't matter if they're, like even if they haven't even, they're totally in phase 1 where this world is real and this body is this body and this body is me, and all that stuff. They're also able to teach me. And this is an interesting aspect of it too. I can only teach them in as much as I'm willing to learn from them. Isn't that so fun? So if there's a sense like you're more advanced, you're so much more advanced from a person that you couldn't possibly learn from them, then you cannot teach them, because it's like an automatic ego block that goes up. So it's like this welcoming, this teaching and learning. And really the teaching is coming from our inner teacher that we share. It's not coming from any of us as individuals anyways. It's our shared inner teacher that's using this illusion of bodies and even levels of advancement and everything, where we're able to get the teaching and receive the blessing for ourselves. So it's not as if the person isn't automatically learning from their inner teacher, irrespective of whether or not you think they can teach you. It's just that your interaction with them was kind of like, it's almost like the mind was blank because you didn't accept them as your teacher. So it's like in accepting everyone and everything as your teacher, it's only your mind. That's why it's only your mind. So there's not really anyone who hasn't advanced as far as you have. In fact, everyone has advanced, you could say, as far as Jesus and other ascended masters. An ascended master isn't gone. You just can't see them. You can't make them out to be a body. You just can't, you don't have the power to make them out to be a body. Your mind in separation can't make them out as a body because their thinking is not in separation like ours is, basically. So you can, you think you can see me. And because you think you can see me, that means my mind also is unhealed. So it's like, I need you and you need me, but not in the way we think as humans, not like that. It's not that interdependent thing where we're like making this beautiful world together because we're working together. Maybe we do, but that's not the interconnectedness that is really being played out here. It's more like we need each other because we need these lessons that are coming, and the only way we can open ourselves up to those lessons is with willingness, with an open heart. It's like looking upon the other, whoever they are, in whatever position they're in. They may be someone you're communicating with via email. Maybe it's a problem you had getting your yoga videos to play this past weekend. If only I had my yoga, I could be at peace. I got a funny spliff story. Actually, in case you don't know, with the ganja, actually, some years ago, started mixing it with tobacco, and in my mind, in my perception, experience, whatever you want to call it, that kind of makes the seeming effect of the ganja a little bit more mellow. It's just like a little bit more mellow. So it's not like, you're stoned. It's more like, I feel high, like boom. It's more like, it's like, nice little chill thing. So funny spliff story. So I'm over there on the other side of the island, and I go, I just feel like a couple hits up a spliff. So I go in the back where I'm hanging out, take a couple hits. I like have the whole thing left, barely even like touch the tip of it, right? I'll save this for later, set it down, not realizing, because it's not super windy here. It was really still when I put it there. Apparently wind came up, and just like noticing, I come out, where's my spliff? What'd you do with my spliff, my friend? What'd you do with it? She's like, what? She's like, oh, did you leave a spliff right there? She's like, the amount of wind that comes up, it's probably like way over somewhere. And it's just like, okay, fun. No spliff, fine. And then every time I come out there, I'd find myself looking around on the rocks for the spliff, and just kind of like enjoying that and kind of laughing at myself too. Like, why am I looking for that spliff on the ground, and just like, and just kind of enjoying that, and receiving so many downloads in that too. Just because there's this sense like I need something right now, and my friends even like helping me look for the spliff, and then just feel myself, okay. If it's no spliff, for some reason that seems to be like more of a thing for me. Like if I expect it's gonna be there, right? And then I show up and I put it there, expect it's gonna be out there. Then I show up and it's not. A lot different from I'm going on a trip and there's probably not going to be any of that stuff. And then it's just like, it's just mellow, but a little bit different. It's nice to get your triggers though. And so that, I'm happy. I'm always happy for my trigger, and I'm always happy, like I'm not trying to hide anything. Wow. I feel like I need that freaking spliff, it's good. It's good for us. It's awesome. So, get your attention completely toward the inner realm and not what seems to be playing out on the surface as far as, should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? That's a complete fucking distraction. If they do this, let's see, boy, you're really helping me a lot. I really appreciate you. But man, if you smoke pot and I'm lost, Then what? Right. So it seemed like the person came back around though, he made another comment and he laughed about it. He said, well, hey, thanks for doing what you do. Thanks for getting the truth out, even though you're stewing it stoned. Here's the thing, you guys. I have had the experience. Of course, none of this ever happened, but in my experience, I have been, pretty consistently, except for like pregnancies and, sometimes months at a time, not having any, for like what I was 12 to 49. What is that? 37 years in the illusion. Had so much interaction with ganja. I don't know. I feel like I am ganja. So like, you're talking to ganja. It's like so integrated. There's not a separation between us. Even the illusion. This is ganja right here. A whole new meaning of getting stoned. Yeah, exactly. I said squirrely. Okay, we're good. I love that. I say stuff and completely forget about it, apparently. Yes, the cars. Yeah, panic attacks. Fun. I love that. I had that kind of experience too when I was on the one. If anyone's been on the one in Northern California, Highway 1, a Pacific Coast Highway, in El Nino, over there by Big Sur. I got the same kind of feeling that you can barely see. The road's like this and it's right on a cliff. You barely see shit. I'm not driving, so I feel like I'm completely not in control. It didn't matter that my husband, who seems to be the safest driver I've ever seen, is the one driving. It was still major. It was like by the time I got there, I was all wound up. It was really intense. I mean, I was probably like in my 20s at that time, and I was just like, don't let me go back on that road, because I was not like completely freaking out or anything, but I just kept on tensing up. And by the time I got over there, I was just like, I don't feel good. And really, that is what makes illusions, that you don't feel good. It's tension. Now your tummy hurts and you feel like you can't eat. It's like this tension building up with thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen? Another one that's given to us to get really fearful about is money. That's a big part of of upholding this whole. There's a whole illusion within the illusion. That's an illusion of our system, right? This whole system that's propped up in the illusion. It depends on people being worried about money. So you guys, this is a setup. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It does not matter what it looks like, how much you need money for something. Whatever that is, the feeling, it's an opportunity. Once we're in the sense that, okay, this is an opportunity, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how it goes as far as the money. Say you wake up and there's absolutely no money, but you're attuned to that fearful feeling. You're going, I know what that means. I'm grateful for this feeling. I'm getting, then that sense of not having any money is going to be so freaking healing. And you don't have to have the sense that you don't have any money either to heal like this. Just use the sense that you're afraid of running out of money. It's good. That's what works. And in that, it's like, okay, what's the worst case scenario to the ego? I'm going to run out of money. I don't know. You guys have your own worst case scenario. I'm just throwing something out there. I'm going to run out of money. Then I'm going to live in a tent. And then my son's not going to get the video games that he likes. And then he's going to hate me. And my bigger son, maybe he's not going to be able to pay his car payment. And I wouldn't be able to help him. And that's going to suck. And what about this and this and this and this? And all those different thoughts that come in about running out of the money. See the racing. See how it races like that? Even when I'm just doing that as an example for you, I could feel it. It's like, so within that, thank good none of that matters, because anything that arises about money or anything else is really for awakening this shared mind. What it's for is awakening the shared mind. When the fear of not having enough money is eliminated, the system goes down, you guys. The system's, for you in your own experience, it goes down anyways. Okay. Because it has just, you see that it has no power. This thing actually has no power. You don't give it any power, and therefore it has no power, because any power that it has it has to come from you. And I'm not saying us as a collective. You don't hear me saying us as a collective. That means it's not up to everyone else. It's only up to you to use that perception that something's wrong. I could run out of money and not get the things that I need. A big one. And some of you may be dealing with this one, medication or anything that you think you absolutely need to get by. Yerba mate. What if I can't buy my yerba mate? For that one dude who told me that, one guy asked me, well, don't I need sex? Don't I need sex? I go, no. What if your dick is chopped off? Then what? You don't need anything. Yeah, you actually don't need anything. I mean, even the sense that you need air. Okay, in the illusion, it seems like you need air. Well, you know what? That's also an illusion. So I'm saying there is no there's no levels of difficulty here, except that we impose on them. So you might say, wow, air, that's a hard one, because it really seems like we're breathing. And what about the heartbeat? Don't we need that? You don't need any of those things. All these intricacies, like the breathing and the heart muscle. I watched someone unravel a heart this weekend on YouTube. It's really amazing. Really, like, it's just amazing how the mind puts these intricate things together. It's just that we take it as if that's the only way it can be. Like, that's the only way we can have an experience, is by this material coming together and doing these functions. All the functions of the body are also imaginary. All those functions, all the biological functions, the breathing, the heartbeat, the saliva, the eating, the drinking, it's all just imaginary. So when it's being used for fear, and look at the COVID thing, this is a good one. It's all about, you can't breathe, right? You get this thing, and then all of a sudden you catch it from someone, because you weren't wearing your mask right, so you're guilty because you got it, right? So then you caught it from someone, and then you can't breathe, and people are fearing death because it seems like they can't breathe. Well, guess what, you guys? You don't need breath to be alive. That's what's amazing. And losing this attachment to the body. You know what? So much healing will come through your mind if there's a willingness to just let this thing die. You wouldn't even believe it. Your willingness to let this thing just die right here. Having trouble. I had this experience before where I was just like willing to let it die. It seemed like I was having some kind of heart attack, or something was going on in the middle of the night, and I seemed to be having these kinds of like health issues, like low adrenals and all this kind of stuff. A doctor just told me I was close to death, and it seemed like I was about ready. I was like, honey, can you please put some of that heart essential oil over my heart right now? And he's like, what's going on? I go, I feel like my heart's doing something. It seems like it's not getting enough energy. It seems like that. And do you want me to take you to the hospital? Absolutely not. I don't need bright lights and all that kind of stuff. If this thing is passing away right now, I'm willing to let it pass away. So in allowing it to pass away in the mind, that's it. Once there was that allowing to pass away, it's like everything started to kind of like come together to show me that this had been an illusion anyways. The low adrenals, all other stuff, everything started to kind of like come together right there to show my mind. I just made it up. I was using it as a device, and I wasn't seeing that at the time. And just that willingness, just like let it fall right here. I got the experience that the heart was giving out, that this body was dying. And so let it do that. And see, here's the thing: when you let go of trying to control its health, its vitality, all that kind of stuff, and just let it go, it's a manifestation of the mind. So in that relaxation, I think I had a mosquito there. And that relaxation, the vitality comes through. The vitality comes through that. And it's like, oh, you're allowing it to be as it is. If it seems to be alive, if it seems to be passing away, just in allowing it to be as it is, then it's really able to be used. It's able to be used for teaching and learning, for awakening the mind, instead of being distracted with it apparently being sick. I made it sick. If it seems sick, I made it seem sick. That guy's chilling right there, isn't he? Yes, we love our mosquitoes in Hawaii. It's definitely a blessing. It keeps you tuned in. It's like, whoa, I feel there's a tickle over there now. So then the guy who was asking me about the pot smoking on YouTube said, I'm a mystic too. And I'm like, oh, good. And you know that pot's nothing. I didn't actually say that to him, but I thought that, and that it's not anything then. It doesn't mean anything. I mean, we could use all different kinds of things for judgment. There's also people on this island, actually. They are a ganja meditation community. That's what they do. They do a lot of ganja. A friend told me about them, like a lot of ganja. They're not just like mixing it with a little tobacco. They're actually like smoking some bombers. They're actually, like, I could probably say, getting stoned and meditating, and that's their community. Okay. So it's like, I'm just pointing that out to illustrate that there's all different ways of looking at anything, and you are not capable of judgment. You're not capable of it. It doesn't do anything. All it does in a dream is extend time for you, because it gives you something that you apparently have to work out because you're holding a judgment. You're not really capable of casting judgment. You can't cast judgment, but you can take that thought and make it meaningful to yourself. And then that hurts your mind. So if you get the impression that, yeah, as long as you don't do this particular thing, then you're okay. Yeah, that's one of those things. That's one of those deals. So, Gail, I don't know if you're on right now. I have a feeling you're probably not on right now. But you might watch this later, because you often watch my stuff. And I just got a message somewhere. That might have been her. I don't know where it went. Maybe you are on with me. So Gail told me that, can you put Anne somewhere else? Because Anne comes, she's my studio. Anne's my studio audience. Okay. And anyone can come and be my studio audience. I don't have a lot of room here. I only have like 3 chairs around me, but I also talk loud, so you could be hanging out pretty much anywhere. So Gail was like, hey, can you do something about where Anne is sitting? Because you're always looking to the side. And there was something about it for her that wasn't appealing, that I was looking to the side. So I said, Anne, let's try this. I got my screen here. I just kind of cocked it a little bit this way. And I have Anne sitting right here. So now my eyeballs are going over that way whenever I'm looking at Anne, instead of turning to the side. I don't know if that's helpful for different people. But Anne was like, you know what, that sounds like a thing. That really sounds like that, that might be a thing to bring up around wisdom dialogues. And so we all have these certain things where it'd be like, well, if you did it like this, it might be better. And I'll tell you what, my friend Gail, she has all kinds of suggestions for me. She really does. And you know what? A lot of the times I'll take one of her suggestions and be like, wow, that was fucking good. That really made a huge difference. And it was so small and something like that. In fact, I cannot recall a suggestion of Gail's that wasn't awesome. Can't even think of one. Okay. Note to self. And I was like, Anne, do you mind sitting there? You like it over there? Is it so? It's cool, right? You get a better view of me, probably. So yeah, you know, it's like not a need to try to control anything, and not a need to you know, try to resist anyone trying to control anything either. It's always the manifestation is always coming as it is. And you know, today it just occurred to me, oh, let's try this, let's see how it is. But you know, if Anne likes it, that seat's good for her. This is fine for me with this cock, and Gail likes it too. Why? Perfect. You know, and you know, it's like we don't have a choice in whether or not we even follow these things or not. It's just like automatic. It's like automatic. I sent something where it'll be like, oh, that might be a really good suggestion, and then there's an opening for it, and I don't have to try to hold on to it. Okay, let me remember that when I get to wisdom dialogues, I don't even know if I'm gonna do it. I'll go, oh, I'm going to do it. I don't even know. That's like, you just hear the suggestion and you find out, you know, if it works, and it's really no thing. It's really actually just like, it's no thing. All of us are trained to see, or, you know, make out, let's say make out, because we don't actually see here. We're perceiving illusion. We're all really good at making out how something can be improved in the world. We're all really good at that. And there's nothing wrong with it at all. It's just where we attach to it is like, it has to go that way. And you know, you know, I know Gail, she doesn't care if it goes that way or not. It may or may not affect whether or not she watches me, you know, and she doesn't care either. You know, I'll be over there visiting her at some time too. That's what we do. But if there's an attachment to it, you know, and you know, she's not attached to whether she watches me or not. I'm not attached to whether she watches me or not. So it's just like allowing everything to flow, you know, and allowing everything to be in a flow, and just show up the way it does. There's a suggestion. Don't know if you're going to take that suggestion, but thanks for the suggestion. And then you might completely forget about it. I find myself also completely forgetting. Hey, didn't I tell you about that? Oh yeah, I completely forgot about it. Apparently it wasn't one that was supposed to be played out. Or, oh yeah, that does sound interesting. Maybe it'll play out. And you know, Anne could very well come over and go, fuck no, I'm not moving. I like this chair. Fine. Anne likes the chair. and then you know, there's the case where you get a bunch of people like totally disagreeing like this. Just stay calm, just stay in the middle. All the seeming manifestations that need to play out just become known to you, because you're just automatically playing them out anyways. So just stay mellow and let, like, if there's people arguing in front of you, no, I want her like this. No, I want her like this. Oh, I want it like, I want her to stand on one leg while she does it. You know, I want her to play the harp. I don't want her to play the harp. I've had that too. And it's just kind of like, let's just see how it goes. It's not like I'm going with one person's suggestion or another person's suggestion. All I'm doing is listening. And that's all that's being asked of anyone. And you listen, you can hear your inner guidance. You can sense it, because it's a relaxed, nice, soothing, comfortable, and also inspiring kind of feeling. And, you know, it can also change. It can also completely, like, your direction in the world can change so fast. So there's no need to get attached to any part of it. Like, it could be like, we're here for 45 minutes. And then I go, you know what, Anne, you over there, it's just totally distracting me. I want you over here. And Anne mentioned too, this is a good one. Anne mentioned, because when she first came here, she sat right there. And I had my computer like this though. And I could just see the top of her head. I go, you know, that's kind of distracting to be right there, sit in another chair. So I actually put her over there just for you, Gail. Isn't that awesome? Thank you for the weekend. By the way, it was an amazing weekend. Gail took the sweetest care of me. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. She just like gave me just, she made me food. She cooked. She took me places. She took me on Pololu hike. Yeah, Pololu hike. For those of you who don't know, Pololu is like this really gorgeous valley. You go on like a 1 mile hike down, you see the amazing views all the way down there. It's like Jurassic Park style stuff. There's like this valley where there's the ocean, and then all these mountains, hairy mountains, I like to call them. They look like they grow in hair. Green hairy mountains all along the coastline. It's looking glorious. Goddess gathering, which basically means a bunch of broads from the neighborhood get together. So that was really fun, meeting all the neighborhood wahine. Yeah, and just like really like, can I get you anything? Really caring about my comfort. And I just found myself, I thought I might leave on Sunday. I didn't get back to like just before Wisdom Dialogues. I was like, well, yeah, I'm not really feeling to leave. So I was like a last minute kind of girl rolling up today for Wisdom Dialogues, and just beautiful dropping in with my friend, kind of quiet and lovely. It's really sweet. Yoga, meditations, conversation, lovely food. Yeah, I recommend it. Oh, and by the way, if anyone wants me to come over there and experience that at your place, just let me know. I'm totally open to that. I love that. That's really awesome. Because I know there is nothing happening here. There is more openings, more space, more relaxing. Yes, exactly. You can see more when you know that it's not real. You can see more opportunities for more experiences. And, anything that you think you want in the world, anything you say you want more, say you think you want more money. Okay. You think you want more money. You don't actually want the more money, because the more money doesn't even exist. It doesn't even exist. You think you want more money, but what you want is an experience that you think the money can give you. That's all. So in recognizing that, you can just be asking for what it is that you really want, which is this experience that you think money can give you. You don't need the money. But when you're thinking that you want money, what you're really asking for is worldly manifestations. That means death. See? So all money can come to you. It doesn't matter. You could be a multi-millionaire, trillionaire, whatever. It does not matter. That's not the thing. Now, when you think you want money, what you really want is an experience that doesn't seem to be available to you right now, but which absolutely is available to you right now if you are only willing to receive it. So see how powerful we are if we're willing to get that experience without the stimuli. So it's just like the same thing for me, like when the spliff went in, call it a spliff in the wind. The spliff went in the wind. We're joking around because we're like going to the Pololu hike, I'm like, I bet my spliff is way over here somewhere. It's a spliff in the wind. And I didn't have the goods with me, so I wasn't able to make another one. Like I didn't have the stuff with me, so it was like just like an ongoing joke, the spliff in the wind. and I go, what if they said that spliff was worth $1 million if you just find it? My friend and I were like, whoo, thank goodness that's not the case, because we might find ourselves looking for that spliff then. And it looks like it might not be real easy to see on all the rocks were so it's all these rocks, right? And they're the same color as the spliff, actually. Like, it's not like here where it's all green. If there's a spliff out there, you're going to see it. You're just going to see it laying there in the lawn. No, it's all these rocks that are like the same color as the spliff, all uneven and everything. So like it could be anywhere. We looked for a little bit, not too much. Just in case it still wanted to be. I had another spliff, and I was smoking that spliff, and I was telling that spliff to call its friend, the other spliff. Tell it to come over here. Spliff on the rocks and getting stoned. Yeah, look at all this. That's so fun. And Jill says she didn't even notice I was looking anyway. Okay, that's great. She didn't even notice I was looking to the sides. Isn't that wonderful? But actually, now that I'm having the experience of Anne over here, and this is like something that has been recurring with me with Gail, like the whole time I've known her. You know, like I didn't notice it back when I said, "Sit over here, Anne, because you're distracting me over there." However I put it, I don't know. But then this little move of the computer, it's actually really nice because I don't do a full. And I think Gail was actually also, you know, looking out for my neck. Isn't that sweet? She's thinking about me. That's fun, huh? It's just for play, you guys. None of it's real. Oh, by the way, Leah and Shanti and all you guys, you want me to come over there? I would love to come over there. I would love to come over there. You guys want me to go out there where those are the ones that are thinking they're sick right now. Yeah, get a hold of me if you want me to come over. I'd love to like look at the schedule. Oh yeah, Leah texted me earlier and I think I missed it. Let's see. Oh yeah, I did. She really like can send some texts like really fast. Feel scary, feel punished. I got to that one. Actually, someone won't treat me right now because they're holding a grudge for an FB comment from June 2020. Local well-known doctor. That is perfect. Don't you love that? You don't need that treatment. Isn't that awesome? You do not need that treatment. You need forgiveness. That's all you need. Yeah, I'm coming. I'm totally coming. And once we get off Wisdom Dialogues, we're going to have a dialogue about how I come over there and love you up. Yeah, I'm so stoked to see you. I'll go see you and Shanti and anyone else who wants to love it up. Yay! Yay! I'm so happy. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to lick your COVID. I know we never French kissed before, but let's start. That's and Shanti and everyone else are fine now. Oh, what a fun perception to have, huh? It's time for some lesbian action because you think you have the COVID. No, I'm just really happy about it. No, I haven't had anyone in my sphere think they have COVID who's actually like close enough to me where I can cruise over there. Jesus, heal the sick. Yeah. And you know, that's the thing. It's like my mind is sick, basically. I'm having a perception. People seem to be able to get sick in my perception. My mind is sick. I'm going to see Leah for my own healing. Okay, that's what I'm going to see her for. It's kind of like, it looks like she's the patient, right? But really our mind is the patient. So, and I know she can work with me very powerful in that way too, because she's so open. So yay that it's Leah. Leah, I'm glad it's you. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to wrap it up. Unless you guys have questions. If you have questions, I'm going to give you till 5 o'clock. If you want to raise your hand, ask me something, come on, anything like that. Someone just told me they got their car stolen. LOL. They know how I think and they think like me. This is great. They say, I got my car stolen. LOL. That's great. We had one friend, and she's amazing too. Like she's like just super tuned in too. And she got carjacked out in the middle of nowhere. When she was telling the story, she was laughing her ass off. She's like, you guys are carjacking me right now? Really? All right. I guess that's the deal. She slowed down and stopped. She's like, oh, what's going on with this brother? Maybe you need some help or something, You're carjacking me? Couldn't have happened to a better person. That was awesome. Because she has the direction and the willingness for forgiveness, and that's the best person of carjacking to happen to. I mean, the people involved in that, they don't even realize how much of a blessing they're getting by carjacking that person. It's like, it's a huge blessing because she has that ability to, well, we all have the ability to forgive, but she knows it. She knows she does. And she uses it like that. So, no, that's not going to make you have more carjacking. The fact that you can laugh about a carjacking actually makes it way less likely that you're going to be in one. You're not resisting it. It was just like, what? You're carjacking me right now? Freaking awesome. Thanks. Just get out the guitar. Just get out the guitar. Yeah. Well, who knows? I don't know. I don't play guitar. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, actually, Glenn. But I love you. All right, you guys. So I don't see any hands and I don't see any further questions. I don't think I have any notes. Let me check. Wisdom dialogues. Oh no, I didn't make any notes since last week. That's awesome. Okay, you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. If you feel like donating to Wisdom Dialogues, I'll just let you know. I've got Zoom stuff that I pay for and Buzzsprout stuff. So it goes, the ones that I do online go out to all those major podcast things. So, if you feel inspired to leave a donation, hopejohnson.org. I doubt that it matters if you leave a donation. I'll probably still be doing this no matter what. Yeah, it's who knows? Maybe I don't even like. Anyways, hopejohnson.org. What? That was good. I like that. I'm like trying to go on a trajectory about what I would do. And nah, never mind. I don't know. I put it in an account that's for wisdom dialogue-y type stuff, and we see where it goes. There's all kinds of recordings on my website, hopejohnson.org. Go to the Wisdom Dialogues tab. You're going to see where you can access all those podcast type things that I do when I go in person here at Hawaiian Sanctuaries on Friday. And the online ones that I'm doing right now with you, in case you're watching live or something like that, those are on YouTube, but you're also going to get them. Thanks, Anne. Right. You're also going to see like the latest one right there on that page, on that Wisdom Dialogues tab. I also have a book on that site. It's called Unschooling for Parents. It's a really fun, easy to read book. I'm working on a second book right now. Let me say, I am just enjoying myself so much with this book. It's just every one of the passages. It's kind of like, it's kind of like in a format, kind of like the Tao, but it's like 400 pages. The Tao is a little tiny thing like this. It's like 400 pages. And each one of these little entries, I'm going through it and getting like a sense of it. Like, how does this feel now at this point in time, how does this feel? And really opening up and some of them, they're not getting changed at all. Some of them are being completely rewritten. Some of them are just a couple little tweaks here and there. It's a beautiful process. I'm really appreciating the process. Lots of beautiful awakenings coming through it. And that's what I recommend for everyone too. You know, I really practice, at least give my best effort to practice, because it feels good. Exactly what I'm talking about. Like with the book, I don't have a set, like, okay, it has to come out by this time. No, it's a feeling, and it's not in the book. The book never has to be made manifest, because it's in the feeling. That's what's being really shared here. So I'm really just like touching in with it. It really, the words don't even have to reach you guys, in order to have a benefit from it, because it's not at that level. Will it manifest in the world? It looks like it likely will. It seems like I have 4 more chapters to go through this kind of brushing through, kind of like brushing through them right now, using Grammarly too, and seeing how, like, a way to say it where it can be grokked, let's say. A way to say that same thing that I said before, because, you know, it's all taken from things that I've said and put into this format, and seeing how it can be said in a way that people can really grok it. So I'm excited about that. I don't even know if it's ever going to manifest, but it does look like it could be. I don't know. I'm not even going to say. Okay. How about that? Thank you, Glenn. We love you too. Thank you so much. Leia's guitar. Dang, you just know everyone, Glenn. Damn. Wow. How do you know us so well? This is amazing. Thank you. Come back to Sedona. Oh yeah, that was so fun going to Sedona. Yeah, if you want me to come to Sedona, basically, you know, just set it up. It's, you know, maybe get some people together who want me to come over. You guys get a plane ticket, get a place for me to stay. I'm happy to travel around and see you guys. I love it. I love just dropping in with peeps. Wonderful. The short recorded video wisdom from you that you post once a week would be awesome. I would totally pass it forward. Okay, so you're probably just, yeah, you know what? Okay, I hear you, Jill. That idea popped into my mind too. So we'll see what happens. That could occur too. Just do a short thing that comes up. Yeah, that sounds great. Who knows? Maybe first thing in the morning when I'm sitting there with my computer and writing in my book, anytime a live video could just like come up. That sounds great. Thanks for the suggestion, Jill. I appreciate that. So yay, everyone. Until next time, I love you so much. Mahalo, aloha, and a hui ho.